The Amish have long been admired for their extraordinary ability to preserve food in ways that defy time. This isn't just about keeping food edible, it's about maintaining its quality, nutritional value, and flavor for years, sometimes even decades. But how exactly do they achieve this remarkable feat? Let's explore the traditional methods that make Amish foods so enduring, preserving the essence of both the past and the present. First, we look at canning, a time-tested technique that involves sealing food in jars or cans and then heating it to a specific temperature. This heat treatment serves to destroy harmful microorganisms that can spoil the food. Once sealed, the jars form a vacuum, preventing bacteria and other contaminants from entering and ensuring the food's long-term preservation. The key to successful canning is in this process of eliminating harmful bacteria, yeasts, and molds while maintaining the food's integrity. When done correctly, canned food can remain viable for many years without the need for refrigeration. Commonly, canned foods include vegetables, fruits, and even meats. Items such as tomatoes, green beans, peaches, and chicken can be found in Amish pantries, ready for use long after harvest. Next comes fermentation, a process where microorganisms, such as bacteria or yeast, break down sugars into acids or alcohol. While fermentation preserves food, it also enhances its flavor and boosts its nutritional profile. The acidic environment created during fermentation helps inhibit spoilage, while the beneficial probiotics produced can have positive effects on gut health. Fermented foods such as sauerkraut, pickles, and kefir are staples in Amish kitchens. These foods can last for months or in some cases even years, while providing a unique tangy flavor and additional health benefits. Another critical preservation method used by the Amish is drying. By removing moisture from food, drying prevents the growth of bacteria, molds, and yeasts that thrive in damp conditions. This process leaves the food lightweight and easy to store while still retaining its nutritional value. Dried foods such as beans, herbs, fruits, and meats can be stored in airtight containers for long periods without refrigeration. Dried apples, jerky, and herbs like thyme and sage are commonly found in Amish pantries, ready to be rehydrated or used as is for meals throughout the year. Root cellaring is another essential method for storing food that relies on the natural properties of the earth. Root vegetables and other produce are kept in a cool, dark, and humid environment, usually in an underground cellar, which slows down the decomposition process. The cool temperature and high humidity provide the perfect conditions for storing vegetables like potatoes, carrots, and beets. This method allows produce to stay fresh for several months and, in some cases, up to a year. Root cellars are a simple yet highly effective way to extend the life of seasonal crops. These traditional preservation techniques are what allow Amish foods to stand the test of time. Each method plays a vital role in ensuring that the food remains fresh, nutritious, and flavorful, no matter how much time passes. Let's take a closer look at some specific examples that showcase these methods in action. Home-canned vegetables are a cornerstone of Amish food storage. Properly canned, these vegetables can last indefinitely without refrigeration. The process starts with selecting fresh, high-quality produce. The vegetables are washed and prepared according to their type. Some may need to be blanched before canning. Next, canning jars and lids are sterilized by boiling them in hot water. The prepared vegetables are then packed into the jars, leaving the recommended amount of headspace. Hot brine or water is poured over the vegetables to eliminate any air bubbles, and the rims of the jars are wiped clean before tightly sealing them. The jars are then processed in a boiling water bath or pressure canner, depending on the vegetable type and recipe. After processing, the jars are allowed to cool completely. Once sealed, they can be stored in a cool, dark place for many years, retaining their flavor and nutritional value. Dried beans are another Amish staple, known for their durability and long shelf life. When stored properly in a cool, dry place, dried beans can last for decades. To prepare dried beans, they are first sorted and rinsed to remove debris. The beans are soaked overnight in water to rehydrate them. After soaking, the beans are drained and spread out on a baking sheet to dry. A dehydrator or an oven set to a low temperature can be used to ensure they are thoroughly dried. Once dry, the beans are stored in airtight containers or vacuum-sealed bags to protect them from moisture and pests. Stored in a cool, dark place, dried beans maintain their nutritional value and taste for many years, making them a reliable option for long-term food storage. Hardtack is a historic food that has been a long-lasting source of sustenance for centuries. This simple dry biscuit is known for its resilience and ability to last for years without spoiling. It's a prime example of food that has endured the test of time. To make hardtack, mix flour and water to form a stiff dough. A pinch of salt can be added if desired. The dough is then rolled out and cut into small squares or rectangles. A few holes are poked into each piece with a fork to promote even baking. The hardtack is baked in an oven at a low temperature until it becomes completely dry and hard. This could take several hours. Once cool, the hardtack is stored in an airtight container or vacuum-sealed bag to protect it from moisture. When stored in a cool, dry place, hardtack can last for several years, making it a dependable and enduring food source. Fermented foods like sauerkraut are not just flavorful, they are also packed with beneficial probiotics and have a long shelf life due to their acidic nature. The process of making sauerkraut begins with finely shredding cabbage and packing it into a container with salt. As the salt draws out water from the cabbage, it creates a brine, which encourages the growth of beneficial bacteria. The sauerkraut is then left to ferment for several weeks, allowing the flavors to develop and the beneficial microorganisms to flourish. Once the fermentation process is complete, sauerkraut can be stored for months or even longer. It's a quintessential example of Amish food preservation, offering both a long shelf life and numerous health benefits. These preservation methods, steeped in tradition and honed over generations, ensure that Amish food not only lasts, but thrives. Each technique is a testament to the ingenuity and resourcefulness that has allowed these communities to live sustainably and maintain their deep connection to the land. Whether canned, fermented, dried, or stored in root cellars, Amish foods remain as reliable and enduring as the methods used to preserve them. Sauerkraut, a type of fermented cabbage, taps into the natural preservation power of lactic acid fermentation. This process not only preserves but enhances the cabbage's health benefits by fostering the growth of beneficial bacteria which thrive in the salty environment created during fermentation. Making sauerkraut at home is a rewarding project that begins with fresh cabbage. To start, shred the cabbage and combine it with salt. The salt draws out the cabbage's moisture, creating a briny solution that encourages the proliferation of helpful microorganisms while preventing the growth of harmful bacteria. Once mixed, pack the salted cabbage into a clean fermentation crock or jar, ensuring it's tightly packed and fully submerged in its own juices. To keep the cabbage submerged, a weight is typically placed on top. The container is then covered with a cloth, which allows gases to escape while protecting the contents from dust and insects. Ferment the sauerkraut at room temperature for several weeks, tasting it periodically until it reaches the desired balance of tang and flavor. After fermentation, transfer the sauerkraut into airtight containers and store it either in the refrigerator or in a cool, dark place. When properly stored, sauerkraut can last for months, if not longer, providing a long-lasting, nutritious addition to your diet. Next, honey, a food long praised for its exceptional preservation qualities, deserves mention. Its natural acidity and low moisture content make honey a true wonder of nature when it comes to longevity. When stored properly, honey can last indefinitely without spoiling. The key is to keep it in an airtight container to protect it from moisture, as moisture can promote fermentation. It's also important to store honey in a cool, dry place away from heat and sunlight. Never use wet utensils when scooping out honey, as even a small amount of moisture can introduce unwanted microorganisms. Over time, honey may crystallize, a perfectly natural process. If this happens, simply place the container in warm water and stir until it returns to its liquid state. With proper care, honey will maintain its flavor and sweetness for years, making it a timeless staple in any pantry. Cornmeal is another pantry staple with an impressive shelf life. Thanks to its low moisture content and the presence of natural preservatives, cornmeal can last for many years if stored correctly. To extend its shelf life, keep it in an airtight container to guard against moisture and pests. A cool, dark place like a pantry or cupboard is ideal for storage, away from sources of heat and light. For even longer storage, consider vacuum sealing the cornmeal or freezing it to prevent infestations and spoilage. If you choose to freeze it, ensure the cornmeal is fully thawed and brought to room temperature before use. Stored properly, cornmeal can remain viable for several years, making it a reliable and versatile ingredient in your long-term food storage. Canned fruits are another long-lasting food source, capable of lasting for many years if prepared correctly. Canning preserves not only the fruit, but also its flavor and nutritional value. To ensure proper canning, begin with ripe, high-quality fruits. Wash and peel the fruits as needed, then cut them into uniform pieces. Sterilize your canning jars and lids by boiling them, ensuring they are free from contaminants. Pack the fruit into the jars, leaving the recommended headspace to accommodate expansion during processing. Pour hot syrup or juice over the fruit, ensuring it is fully covered. Make sure to remove any air bubbles trapped inside. Wipe the rims of the jars clean to prevent any residue from interfering with the seal. Once sealed, process the jars in a boiling water bath or pressure canner, adhering to the specific times and pressures required for the type of fruit. After processing, allow the jars to cool completely, then check the seals. Properly sealed and stored, canned fruits can last for several years, offering a convenient and nutritious option. Dried herbs also provide an excellent method of preserving the garden's bounty year-round. When stored properly, dried herbs can maintain their potency and aroma for a significant period. To dry herbs, harvest them at the peak of their flavor, just before they bloom. Rinse the herbs to remove any dirt or insects, then pat them dry with a clean towel. Bundle the herbs in small bunches, securing them with string, and hang them upside down in a well-ventilated, dry area, away from direct sunlight. Alternatively, a dehydrator or oven set to a low temperature can expedite the drying process. Once the herbs are fully dried and brittle, remove the leaves from the stems and crumble them. Store the dried herbs in airtight containers or vacuum-sealed bags to protect them from moisture and light. A cool, dark place is ideal for storage. When properly dried and stored, herbs can retain their flavor and potency for up to a year, making them a valuable addition to any pantry. Salt pork, a traditional preservation method dating back centuries, remains a reliable food source that can last for extended periods. To prepare salt pork, begin with fresh pork belly or shoulder. Rinse the meat and pat it dry before rubbing it generously with salt, ensuring it is evenly coated. Optional ingredients like sugar, nitrates, or other seasonings can be added. Once coated, place the salted meat in a container and cover it with additional salt. Let the meat cure in a cool, dry place for several weeks, turning it occasionally to ensure even curing. After the curing process, rinse off the excess salt and allow the meat to air dry completely. The salt pork can then be stored in a cool, dry place or wrapped in airtight packaging and frozen for long-term storage. When properly cured and stored, salt pork can last for several months or even longer, maintaining its quality and flavor. Pickled vegetables are a fantastic way to preserve the harvest while adding a tangy, flavorful punch to your meals. Pickling involves immersing vegetables in a brine solution, which helps inhibit spoilage and promotes a distinctive, zesty taste. To pickle vegetables, begin by washing and cutting them into the desired size. Prepare a brine by combining water, vinegar, salt, and optional sugar or spices. Sterilize your canning jars and lids by boiling them in water, then tightly pack the vegetables into the jars, leaving some head space. Pour the hot brine over the vegetables, ensuring they are completely submerged. Wipe the rims of the jars clean before placing the lids on and screwing on the bands until fingertip tight. Process the jars in a boiling water bath for the time specified in your recipe, then allow the jars to cool completely. Properly pickled and stored vegetables can last for several years, maintaining their flavor and crunch. Beef jerky, a high-protein, long-lasting food, is a classic snack that can be stored for years. The drying process removes moisture, which prevents the growth of bacteria and other spoilage agents. To make beef jerky, start with lean cuts of beef to reduce fat content, as fat can spoil quickly. Trim away any fat and slice the meat into thin, uniform strips. Marinate the meat in a mixture of soy sauce, spices, and other flavorings for several hours or overnight. Preheat your dehydrator or oven to a low temperature. around 150 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit, 65 to 70 degrees Celsius. Arrange the marinated meat strips in a single layer on dehydrator trays or oven racks, ensuring they do not overlap. Dry the meat until it is firm and leathery but still slightly pliable, a process that can take several hours. Once dried, allow the jerky to cool completely before storing it in airtight containers or vacuum-sealed bags. When stored in a cool, dark place, beef jerky can last for several months to years. Homemade applesauce, when canned properly, can last for many years, offering a sweet, versatile addition to your pantry. To can applesauce, start by peeling, coring, and chopping fresh apples. Cook the apples in a large pot with a bit of water until they are soft, then mash them into a smooth or chunky sauce, depending on your preference. You can add sugar or spices like cinnamon to enhance the flavor. Sterilize your canning jars and lids by boiling them, then pour the hot applesauce into the jars, leaving about ½ inch of headspace. Wipe the rims clean to ensure a proper seal, then process the jars in a boiling water bath for about 20 minutes. Afterward, let the jars cool completely and check the seals. When canned correctly, applesauce can last for several years, retaining its flavor and quality. Vinegar, with its natural acidity, is another excellent preservative. Its low pH prevents bacterial growth, making it a reliable choice for extending the shelf life of various foods. To store vinegar, keep it in its original container with the lid tightly sealed. Store it in a cool, dark place, away from sunlight and heat. While vinegar technically has an indefinite shelf life, it's best to use it within a few years for optimal flavor. Vinegar is highly versatile, used in cooking, pickling, and even as a natural cleaning agent. If the vinegar develops an unusual smell, taste, or sediment, it may still be safe to use, though its effectiveness may be reduced. Homemade jam, when canned properly, can last for years, providing a sweet treat that captures the flavors of the season. To make jam, start by selecting ripe, high-quality fruit. Wash, peel, and cut the fruit into pieces, then cook it with sugar and pectin until it reaches the desired consistency. Sterilize your canning jars and lids, then pour the hot jam into the jars, leaving about 1/4 inch of headspace. Wipe the rims clean, place the lids on, and screw the bands on tightly. Process the jars in a boiling water bath for the specified time in your recipe, usually about 10 to 15 minutes. Once cooled, check the seals and store the jars in a cool, dark place. Properly canned jam can last for several years, maintaining its flavor and quality. Root vegetables, when stored in a root cellar, can last for months or even years, making them a key component of long-term food storage. The cool, dark, and humid conditions of a root cellar preserve the vegetable's freshness and nutritional value. To store root vegetables, select healthy, undamaged produce, clean it thoroughly, and allow it to dry completely. Store the vegetables in bins or crates, ensuring good airflow and separation to avoid cross-contamination. Regularly check the vegetables for any signs of spoilage and remove any affected items. Stored properly, root vegetables like potatoes, carrots, and beets can last for several months to over a year. These foods, from fermented sauerkraut to home-canned vegetables, dried beans, and fermented foods, are not only long-lasting, but also packed with essential nutrients. They enrich your diet with probiotics, protein, fiber, and vital vitamins and minerals. Stockpiling these items is a smart, cost-effective choice, ensuring that your family has access to high-quality food even during times of scarcity. These foods not only help minimize food waste, but they also provide a reliable backup supply that doesn't spoil quickly. In today's world, where time and resources are precious, this means fewer trips to the store, less reliance on items that expire fast, and a much more efficient use of what you already have. The extended shelf life of these foods gives you the freedom to stock up when prices drop, making it easier to take advantage of sales and bulk discounts. This can significantly stretch your food budget, making your dollar go much further. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more insightful tips on living frugally and making the most of your resources. Know someone who could benefit from learning how to preserve nutritious, long-lasting foods? Share this video with them and help spread the knowledge.